Wolves have only won one of the last 6 Premier League games, but you know from the FA Cup game how tough it is. What lessons could you learn from that defeat?
Quite a few, and of course we have to, because if we turn up against a good team like they are, not performing at our level, we will get the result that we will deserve. Last time we didn't really play well enough against them, with enough tempo against them. It was a different kind of game to many others for us. We had the ball 70% of the time, but sometimes possession doesn't mean that you're going to create chances and score goals.
You've got 4 goal scorers in double figures in the Premier League for the first time since the 95-96 season. How important going forward is that if you want to be considered title contenders in the future?
Very important. I'm surprised by that it's so long ago, because I thought maybe me and Teddy and Coley and Yorkie had 10 more than that, I think. But I think Teddy was the one that fell below. So, but it's a good thing to have more sources of goals, because that gives the opposition a different challenge as well. That they know goals are could come from different angles, and we still have a few more that you can challenge, and you should get to double figures really.
Ollie, there's been a lot of talk about Paul Pogba over the weekend in terms of what Zidane said. So Alex Ferguson used to have a bit of a bee in his bonnet about other managers talking about players from other clubs. How do you feel about the fact that Zidane's been so public?
I don't like to talk about other teams' players, of course, but that's a challenge. This is another challenge with international breaks. Players are available all the time as well, and it's like it's a different environment. It's more of a general talk, and Paul is a very nice and polite man who then answered a general question on any, kids who, Zidane is an icon in France, of course. Zidane is a fantastic manager. He used to be a fantastic player. I played against him myself, and he's just politely answered that question. But Paul's happy here. He's going to be a big part. I've always said it, that you'd like to build your team around him, and that hasn't changed at all.
Could I ask you about the position of technical director, sporting director, however you want to look at it? Do you feel as though that is essential to the way you work at Manchester United? Because a lot of people seem to think it is quite an important role.
Football has changed, and the structure at football clubs have changed. And of course, me and Ed and Joel, for that matter, we are looking to how can this club be run as smoothly and as well as possible. So we'll see what the club will end up with, and I'm happy discussing football with knowledgeable people in the right positions anyway.
Is that the way that it goes anyway these days now, obviously with another voice, if you like, in terms of transfers and everything else, but you'd still very much be a part of anything going forward in terms of players coming in?
I would think so. From the first, from the first couple of, call it managers, there used to be club secretaries back then, when we were founded more than 100 years ago. But that's just the way football goes. I think a manager can't do as much as he used to do when my gaffer started, for example.
That suits a younger manager like you now, presumably, anyway.
I'm happy to say I'm young. I'm feeling older and older. 46 is quite a good number. I think the demands of football nowadays means that you've got to split responsibilities, definitely.
Yeah. You're still in the race to win the Champions League this season and fighting for a top 4 in the Premier League. In general, how important is it for the club to be in the Champions League, and whether or not you get the spot next season, do you think that will have any effect on attracting your summer targets?
I've answered that question quite a few times actually, that, you know, Man United and our history and our ambitions and our potential would always be interesting for players. But of course, the better we do, the better results we get, the more I think the players would also like to come. So Champions League next year would be fantastic, and we have put ourselves in a great position. When we came, me and Mick, or when the change came 3 months ago, we were 11 points behind. Now we're in that position. So we've just got to go into the next 7 games with the same attitude that we have done. We went into the games, nothing to lose. Let's go for it, see where it takes us. And now when we've got into this position, doesn't mean, or that means just keep carrying on. Don't change your approach on how to attack games. Yeah, sometimes you, against Wolves in the FA Cup, yeah, we got more of the ball and it's about us dominating. Sometimes you have to defend well, but intention has to be attack when we've got the ball.
Is Romelu Lukaku fully recovered and Martial?
Yeah, both will be ready for tomorrow, definitely. So unless they break down in training today, but it looks good, yeah.
Oh, is Mick signed up yet, by the way? So just Mick feeling, is there anything sorted with him yet?
No, because we had the Watford game, now the Wolves game. I think Ed and Mick will hopefully get things sorted very soon. He's a key part of the club anyway, and the setup.